Hey guys, thanks for stopping in. Looks like it's been a couple months since I've done a video about thoracic outlet syndrome, and sometimes I kind of run out of ideas of stuff to talk about. And I started thinking just the other day, I haven't had a bad flare-up in a while, and so I went over on the NeuroTalk forums where I have a thread running. It's been running for about, I don't know, 3-4 years. It's where I kind of started out. I started out doing exercises and things to try to reverse my pain, and that was 5.5 years ago. And I have a thread running over there. It's called Scott Sonnen's Interflow Joint Mobility Program, because that's kind of what got me started. I have a copy of it right here. And I went over there, and the nice thing about having that thread over there is I can go over there and read through it and check my information. So if I want to make a video, my facts are accurate. So I went over there and looked, and I was reading through my posts, and January of this year is the last time I had a TOS flare-up, which is crazy. I mean that's great. I mean, I still have pain, but for me a flare-up is when the pain gets a lot worse, and it can last, the muscles go into spasms, and it can last for, a week up to, I've had them last for a month or more. I mean, and I haven't had one of those since the beginning of the year. So that is great progress. I can hardly believe it. And me having thoracic outlet syndrome since I was like 17 or 18 years old, and I'm 53 now, so it's a lot of years. And I had surgery like 20 something years ago, and it made me worse, and I really never improved. I just kind of stayed the same, and I was always in constant pain. I was always laying in bed, and like I said, I started out doing this Interflow Joint Mobility Program, and just one exercise at a time. And sometimes I'd do an exercise and I'd be in pain for days after, and I'd let it calm down and I'd do it again, and just day after day after day. And I started listening to Scott Sonnen, and a lot of the stuff he talked about is how the whole body should work as one unit. Everything needs to work together, and not to worry about this muscle or that muscle, which is what a lot of doctors and therapists and stuff will kind of do. And it made a lot of sense to me. I really didn't know if it was going to work. It seemed almost impossible to start reversing pain after so many years, but I just did it small, tiny baby steps like he suggested. He said, if you're gonna reverse pain, get out of pain, you can't fire with fire. You have to do it in small, gradual baby steps, and that made total sense to me. And also another good joint mobility program too is this one by Steve Maxwell, the Encyclopedia of Joint Mobility, and I got a lot of good exercises from that as well. I don't really follow the programs as they do it. I just I've learned what I can do, and I've just learned to trust my instincts, and I've made a lot of mistakes along the way, and I've flared myself up a lot along the way. And after I'd been doing those joint mobility exercises for several years, I started using things like a lacrosse ball or a Theracane to massage the muscles and dig into the muscles where they felt tight. And actually, when I first started using that Theracane, I would get bruises all over, up and down my legs, and my wife said, you know what, I don't think that's healthy. I don't even think you should be doing that. But I think it was just that my muscles were in such bad shape that just pushing on them would make them bruise. And I could kind of see that over time, that was getting better. So I just stuck to my guns and followed the voices in my head, followed my intuition, and it's worked. And another thing that's worked well for me too is vacuum cupping. The way this works is you put it on your arm, or just anywhere you're in pain, and you let the cup go on there, and leave it on there for maybe 5-10 minutes. And what that does is that steady suction helps to kind of decompress the muscles and get blood moving through them. And you can see I do them on the front of my shoulders here. And I've been doing this for a couple years and I still get bruising from that. So that shows me that something's not real healthy here. These muscles are kind of compressed and they're, but it's getting a little bit better all the time. I actually had a lady who's into Chinese medicine or seemed to know about it comment on one of my videos, and this is probably a year or more ago, and she said, you know, I don't think you should be bruising that much. You got some kind of a circulation problem or something. Man, she's probably right. I mean, if I put them on the back of me, they don't seem to make the purple marks that much anymore, but on the front right here, they still do. But it's helping me over time, and you got to realize I've been doing this for 5.5 years, which sounds like a crazy amount of time, but you know, I started having problems when I was 17 or 18, so it's going to take time. When I started this, I also have, you know, like chronic muscle pain syndrome and fibromyalgia and all that stuff, I've been told. And I came across a lady when I first started this, and she wrote a book. I wondered if it was even possible to reverse chronic pain after this many years. And she had fibromyalgia, and she was doing some of the same things that I'm doing. And she said it took about 5 years in her case. And I don't think she'd had it near as long as I had. So I was actually trying to find her site the other day, and I couldn't find it. I wanted to leave her a message and tell her, you know, that her story in her book actually influenced me to try, because you know, people doing that stuff is awesome. I mean, she has no idea. She helped me, and hopefully me doing these videos can encourage other people. That's why I do them, and this is why I got started on YouTube, because I was making progress and at reversing my chronic pain, and being that I can't really type because it hurts my arms too much, I thought it would be cool if I could just turn on a camera and talk, even though I'm a pretty crappy speaker, but I'm getting a little bit better at it as time goes by, and the whole point is just to try to encourage people anyway. So yeah, that's my video for today. 5.5 years I've been working on this, and you know, the cool thing is I actually can get into positions that I haven't been able to get into in years, and a lot of times in my head I still think that I can't get into that position or I can't do something, and then all of a sudden I try and I'm like, hey, wait a minute, I can do that now. And it's just crazy. But when you've been in pain for as many years as I have, it's, you know, it kind of just gets stuck in your brain. Well, I can't do this, I can't do that, and then every once in a while I'll try something. It's like, hey, wait a minute, I can do that now. It's not a huge thing, but something small. So over time, I'm seeing more and more small things that I can do. So I hope this encourages people to, you know, look into self-care and just find things that help you, because you can reverse chronic pain if you find the right things. Thanks for watching, you guys, and I'll talk to you next time.